Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you, and today I'm going to talk about my opinion on female steroid use. But before we get into that, just a big shout out and thank you to everybody out there watching and supporting the channel. I cannot thank you enough. If you haven't yet, please like, sub, share, whatever you can do. It truly helps the channel to grow. Also, today's video is sponsored by letsgetchecked.com. Now, letsgetchecked.com specializes in at-home blood testing. All you have to do is go to the website, letsgetchecked.com, order whatever blood test that you want to get, and save 30% off with the code Gemelli30 so you can load up on those tests. They ship it direct to your house. All you got to do, produce the sample, turn around, ship it right back. They're going to give you fast, reliable results. It's all coming through online to you. You got doctors and nurses there to answer questions whenever you've got them. Fast, discreet, reliable. You can't beat it. All of your results are going to be easily obtainable online. Super simple. Letsgetchecked.com. Coupon code Gemelli30. Save yourself 30%. So, all right. I'm going to give you my opinion on female steroid use in general. What I think about it, what my experiences have been being around it, coaching it, interacting with different females over time. And so I just want to give you my thoughts on it. I am not a fan of it with any compound, to be honest with you. You will see that I have a few that, if it gets down to it, if somebody needs coaching or if they're asking me what's the safer or more mild ones to run for a female, then we're looking at Anavar as the most obvious. And generally, if a female's really wanting me to coach or advise, that's normally the only one I'm going to really feel comfortable advising. And I really don't even like that, but that would be the one that I'm most comfortable with. The other ones that I find women tolerate better, Primobolan and Winstrol. Those are the three where my comfort's still not good at all, but I would have the most comfort saying, okay, these would be the ones that you could do more safely and have a greater probability of getting through with unscathed, so to speak, or with minimal problems. Those would be the ones that I would recommend to go with. You start getting into certain things, like I see women running DECA and Tren, NPP, D-ball, and I scour and cringe at the thought of like the damage being done here. So many different things, really, really scary to mess any sort of estrogen, scenarios with women. I really don't like that. I think that goes without saying. But beyond that, the viralization aspect of things, especially with more androgenic compounds that you get into, it's very scary. Developing all of these male attributes, unwanted changes, deepening in voice, the hair growth, the possible large amounts of acne, and women can tend to have all of these compounded way worse than men even, and it just because it's that opposite effect, and getting too high levels of testosterone, for example. It's kind of like when, as men, if we get too high of estrogen, it's a very, very problematic. And it's even worse on women. And obviously, and then again, you don't want to just smash your testosterone levels, because it's just like a man smashing their estrogen levels. If we do that, we've got really big problems. And while women don't carry very high levels of testosterone at all, just like men don't carry high levels of estrogen, if you smash it and that gets out of line, oh my goodness, it can just be devastating as well. And I've seen this. I had a major encounter when I lived in Las Vegas, discussing with a female that had been on Anavar for 3 years running, and she had been going through some of the worst. It makes me cringe to even think about this conversation that I had, because it fucking haunted me. It still kind of does. Just thinking about what this poor girl had done to herself and what she was going through, and me listening to this going and thinking in my head, man, I don't really know any really great way out of this, because this has been now, I guess, since I just turned 40. Shit, this was probably back in 2013 or 14, so it's been a long time, and I really wasn't anywhere near as well versed now, and I still would be looking at that scenario going, holy shit, this is going to be a fun one for me to figure out, that type of deal, and I'm being sarcastic about it. So I've seen some devastating things happen, so I really, really stress being careful if you are intent on using steroids as a female on what you pick. The virilation side effects that I'm talking about, and I've seen women get deepening of the voice quick, and it doesn't change back for a lot of them. Some people it does. I can't predict that. It's like you want to play the Russian roulette game, go for it, and you'll find out. I don't know, but once it's there, you're not going to reverse it. So keep that in mind, and then think about the massive hair growth that can occur, and like I said, the male attributes. You could even have smaller breasts, which some of you may not care one bit about, and some of you that could be the end of the world. I don't know. I've seen people with irregular menstrual cycles, enlarged clitoris. The list is long and it's steep, and it's probable with any steroid. Obviously, more so with some than others. I've seen women wanting to blast testosterone. I mean, I'm not totally against women with the HGH use, but you also want to be careful with your dosing and run less lower end, more moderate. But I'm a more moderate advocator of that anyway. So that would be more acceptable. SARMs, peptides, much more acceptable. I've seen much better experiences, at least in terms of women using them. There are SARMs for women that you need to avoid, though, as well, that are harsh. And I maybe it's because I'm an only child and I'm so protective of my stepdaughter and my nieces that are just like the world to me, and obviously my wife and everybody that knows that follows me, my kitten. I mean, and they're all women, and my mom I'm so close with. So maybe I'm overprotective. Maybe I am, and I'm sorry. But I've been around it too much, and I've seen too many situations and scenarios to know what generally happens. Even the ones that I know that are super responsible and sometimes there's things out of your control, and I certainly can't predict them, and you really can't either, because you just don't know how your body's going to take it. And then over time your body, like some of us, we find that we get worse side effects. Some of us, you say, oh, my body's used to it. Everybody's different. I don't know. And that realm of unknown to me is dangerous ground, and I don't find it worth it when there's other options. I can design easy SARMs and peptide stack where I have total comfort going. I really don't think you're going to endure too much here. But like I said, with SARMs, there are some, especially some of the newer ones, you absolutely want to avoid as a female. And there's really peptides that you want to avoid as a female as well. But those are different videos and separate scenarios. And also keep in mind, when you're dosing anything as a female, it has to be don't look at male dosing on steroids at all. On certain SARMs, yes, but then there's others that you still want to go lower with. You've got to be very careful about that and understand that the dosing is far lower. Just like with Anavar, 5 to 10 milligrams is generally where you're going to want to start and stay. A more advanced user maybe up to 20, but that's maxed out, whereas a man's running at 50 to 60, for example. Primo, and it's something you're going to want way lower than a man, 75 to 100 milligrams a week, where most of us, generally are in the 500 to 600 milligrams a week range. And these are just examples of keeping it very low. Winstrol's one I'll tell you, don't ever go over 5 to 10 milligrams of as a female. Some people might disagree. That's where I'm at with it. So, it is what it is. But if you got questions like that, feel free, post them on forums and stuff. We're all there to help with dosing questions and things to really help you, with things like that. But, I've coached several bodybuilders and just women in general that are training for shows or just for certain peak, bodies that they're trying to achieve just because. And I've got tons of experience seeing, the things that happen and occur. So, I guess I seem a little bit more serious too right now, maybe just because I take it so serious. I'm only looking out for you. It's not like, oh, this fucker, he just wants to shit on everybody's parade and ruin this. It's not that. I have seen some and coached some such tremendous, incredible transformations with women. Most women appreciate my approach, especially because they see how delicate I am and I care for the body. And I find women are a lot less reckless when it comes to what they put in their body or what they're willing to do, as like us, where we're definitely a lot more reckless. I hope that I'm getting smarter over time and I've done a lot less. But I mean, I'm the first one to admit women are a lot more careful and mindful of the things that they're doing. So most appreciate where I'm going. Some people think I'm a jerk because I don't want to tell you what you want to hear, and I don't. It's not that. It's that I'm so protective, and I want to cover and make sure you really, really, really understand. So it is what it is. I hope that resonates and comes through. So that being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli signing off.